Dorothy Irene Height was born on March 24th, 1912, in Richmond, Virginia. Dorothy, her father James, mother Fanny, and sister Athena moved to Rankin, Pennsylvania when Dorothy was 4 years old. When Height was older, she received a scholarship from the Elks to help pay for her college education at Barnard College in Manhattan, New York. However, Height was denied when she arrived because the college only allowed 2 African American students to attend the college, and those 2 spots were filled. Instead, she attended and graduated from New York University in 1933 and received her bachelor's in education and her master's degree in educational psychology. Additionally, she furthered her postgraduate work at Columbia University and the New York School of Social Work. Height held many positions in the government and social services organizations, but she was best known for her leadership roles in the National Council of Negro Women, abbreviated as NCNW, and the Young Women's Christian Association, abbreviated as YWCA. These organizations' main focuses are to improve the circumstances and opportunities for African American women. At the age of 25, Height began a career as a civil rights activist and joined the National Council of Negro Women. The National Council of Negro Women was founded in 1935 and is a nonprofit organization. Their mission is to lead, advocate for, and empower women of African descent, their families, and communities. During her lifetime, Height was involved in social services for 60 years, and 40 of those 60 years, she dedicated her time to the National Council of Negro Women. In 1944, Height was still involved in the National Council of Negro Women, but she joined the national staff of the Young Women Christian Association as well. The Young Women's Christian Association is the oldest and largest multicultural women's organization in the world. The YWMA is a movement working for the empowerment, leadership, and rights of women, young women, and girls in more than 120 countries. The goal of this group is to have women and girls transform power structures to create justice, reach peace, gender equality, and a world without violence and war. However, Height put in the efforts to direct the attention of the organization to issues of racial justice. During the Young Women's Christian Association Convention of 1946, Height created an introduction of a policy to integrate its facilities nationwide. She was then elected for the National Interracial Education Secretary of this organization. In 1965, the Young Women's Christian Association named Height the first director of the new Center for Racial Justice. To go back to Height's involvement in the National Council of Negro Women, in 1957, Height became the president of the National Council of Negro Women and held this position until 1997 when she retired. As the new president, she helped organize the March on Washington and was involved in almost all civil and human rights efforts in the 1960s through the 1980s. Heights became one of the leading figures during the civil rights movement due to her determination. In 1963, Height was one of the organizers for the March on Washington. Dorothy Height was the only one woman that stood on the platform behind Martin Luther King Jr. as he delivered his I Have a Dream speech. The day after Martin Luther King Jr.'s speech, Height organized a meeting in which women in the movement could address racism and sexism. She was appalled at the fact that they would allow a woman to be on the stage but have no right to speak about the issue of discrimination and segregation. Height said her male colleagues were very happy to include women in the human family, but there was no question as to who headed the household. During the 1960s and the Civil Rights Movement, Height organized Wednesdays in Mississippi. Height worked with Polly Cowan, an NCNW volunteer, to create this activist group. The group engaged both white and black women from the North and South to have discussions about racial class and class lines. Some of the goals of Wednesdays in Mississippi were racial justice, interracial, interregional, and interfaith communications, and to help women in Mississippi learn how to help themselves. Along with the United States, Height was connected with groups worldwide. Her interest in international work began in 1952 when she was visiting a professor at the University of Delhi in India. Additionally, Haidt did work in South Africa with her involvement in the Women's Federation of the World Council of Churches and the Black Women's Federation of South Africa. Dorothy Haidt has become a piece of our history. To honor Haidt, in 1989, President Ronald Reagan awarded her with the Citizens Medal of Award for all of her service. Haidt has received countless other awards and over 24 honorary degrees. On March 24, 2004, there was a ceremony honoring her lifetime achievements held in the United States Capitol in Washington, D.C. Additionally, on September 7, 2004, Haidt was inducted into the Democracy Hall of Fame. The Democracy Hall of Fame was created by former members of Congress and others on the governing board of the National Graduate University as a part of the university's mission to strengthen the democratic freedoms that make possible the science, economic enterprise, and the rule of law, and encourage improvement in every sphere of life. To conclude, Haidt was a widely respected American civil rights and women's rights activist as well as an influential leader of multiple organizations. Former President Barack Obama referred to Dorothy Haidt as the godmother of the civil rights, which reflects the person she was and the legacy that she has left. Dorothy Haidt died at the age of 98 from natural causes on April 20th, 2010 in Washington, D.C., but she will never be forgotten for what she has done. And these are my resources I used.